Hello everyone, it's Shel C from PaperOcotilloStudio, and it's time for Day 13's Artist Trading Card from hashtag ATCAD2020, brought to you from the Art Joy of Sharing art community on Facebook, as well as our Art Joy of Sharing live stream channel. So this card that I'm starting out with today is one that I made when I was doing the gel print layering. I think that was yesterday. I don't even know, it all runs together, but I have that as my base card, and it has some fluorescent pink and some yellow and some orange on it, kind of interesting colors. And so I decided I wanted to use a couple things from my friend Gina B. Ahrens. She has an Etsy shop, and she designs stencils and stamps and digi downloads and just original art, all kinds of stuff she has on her shop. So I will be linking the products that I used from her on the links below the video. That'll take you to her shop. This stencil is one of hers, and it is like a color wheel or a palette, and it's one of my favorites of hers. It's hand drawn looking, but really interesting, and of course it's a circle, so I used part of that and I stenciled it with some golden white gesso, which is a nice opaque gesso. And then I'm getting out some pencils to color with, and as you can see, I've picked the section of pencils in my Arteza pencil case that go with these colors on the card. These pencils are called watercolor pencils. They're water soluble, and so as I'm coloring over the gesso, which is kind of just a little bit of a rough surface, I'm dipping the pencil in some clear water just to get it wet, to get the lead wet, and it colors better that way. Another option is to color onto some type of a paper and then activate them with a water brush or something. But I'm just literally dipping the pencil right into the water to get the pigment flowing out of the pencil. So I had that little section that just had some peachies and yellowies and pinkies and orangies, and I really think that that turned out well over this white gesso on this particular card. The only thing that's bugging me is that you know, when I gel print, I really love crusty bits. I always think it's fun to pick up something off the plate that was there and just randomly have it. But in this case, on this card, I'm annoyed with that kind of blackish stuff up at the top, blackish, greenish, darkish blob up at the top. And that's a crusty bit. Usually I'm happy. Today I'm not. I wish that that crusty bit would go away, because I'm going with all these fun pinks and oranges, and it has this weird greenish, blackish, yucky color up there at the top that doesn't go along with it. So I am going to fix that after I get all this colored in. I just used different colors that I thought went along with the card. So I get out some of that fluorescent pink paint and a little bit more of that white gesso, and I just kind of use my finger and just kind of pat with my finger to try to get rid of those dark smudgy bits up at the top. And I'm much happier now. Just had to do that. Had to get out some paint and just, I don't know, finger paint for a few minutes. So now I'm going to use a stamp set. I think this one is just called Set 11 from Gina B. Ahrens Designs. These are real etched red rubber with a cling foam on the back. Really nice stamps. I am always partial to red rubber stamps, even though they're more expensive, because the process, the vulcanizing, is more expensive for the red rubber than to just manufacture them out of silicone or plastic. Even sometimes the real inexpensive ones are some sort of plastic, but I just think the rubber stamps much better. So I like this little paintbrush, hand-drawn looking paintbrush, and so I stamped that on there, and then I also used the word from the set, which says Journey, and stamped that on there as well with this large size archival ink pad from Ranger. That's a permanent ink, so it can be colored over the top of it. And yeah, I wanted more words. That's where I got into trouble. Oh, I did make a little bit of a smudge, so I just put some more white gesso over the top of it. I'm still messing around with those edges. So sometimes, that just happens and you have to touch it up. So there is a word stamped on there. These things are both giving me a little bit of a second to dry so that the ink isn't smeary. But I do want to write on this, so I get out my fine liner pens from PIN brand. I will link those in the description box below. There's an 01 and 05. And I started to just write on there, and then I thought, you know what, I'm going to mess it up because I always do. So I decided instead to write with a pencil, and then I started that, and then I thought, you know what I really need to do is write on a piece of paper first, just to make sure that I'm making the letters the right size. I get so nervous doing handwriting on things. It just makes my blood pressure raise. I get so nervous. So I wanted it to say, let art be your journey. Did it end up saying that? No. Even though I wrote it on the paper and I put it across the top just to make sure that that would fit, I ended up with not enough space at the end to make the word your. So I ended up letting it say, let art be a journey, which is fine too. A takes up less space than your. And so once I had written it in pencil, I went over it with the 05 fine liner pen in black because, of course, I stamped the other ones in black. So, got to continue on with it. Because if you put something a color one space, you should probably put it somewhere else on your art piece as well. So I also went over the stamping a little bit just to make it darker because my written letters seemed to have more weight than the stamped one. So I went ahead and went over that a little bit. And then that place where I put the gesso is now looking pretty white, so I had to get out my pencils again to touch that up. And then I'm also going to color the paintbrush with the pencils as well. So they're all still the watercolor pencils from Arteza. Kept dripping water on there and had to dry it. So I grabbed out some other colors, a bright pink, a silver, and a tan color for the paintbrush, and I colored those in. I hope you are enjoying this series. If you are, please remember to give it a thumbs up and leave me a comment and question below. Subscribe to my channel and turn on your notification bell so that you don't miss any new fresh videos. And of course, you can share this on Pinterest or on Facebook, or just directly share it to somebody. There's a little share arrow thing underneath the video on most of the apps, so easy to share. If you know someone who would like to see it, that'd be great. Bring a new person to my channel, and I'm always really happy when that happens and my subscriber number goes up, up, up. That makes me happy. Almost to 17,000, I think. Really close. In fact, by the time this video airs, it might already be past 17,000. So that's fun. That makes me do a little happy dance. So I took the 01 on the letters that Gina made into a stamp. There's some little circles, really tiny little circles. And I thought I would add some of those to my letters as well to make it look as if it's matching. I did my best to make it match her font. My handwriting's terrible, but I did my best. So then I'm going to back this with a heavy piece of black stock. Gonna stick that on there with some Yoo-Hoo glue stick, and then put my paper on the back and number it, number 13 of the ATC a day from Art Joy of Sharing. Almost halfway through. 2 more and I'll be halfway through. Very exciting. I hope you guys are all still playing along. I know doing something every day can be really tiring, and sometimes we don't get them all done. That happens to me on some of these challenges, but just try to make it fun and light and easy. This was a quick card. It wasn't a, you know, an overly fussy thing. It was just a little quick card for today with some stamping and some stenciling and some bright, fun colors. These colors make me happy, orange and pink. I like the combination, and it feels happy to me. So that is it for me. The close-ups of the card are coming up at the end. Links below if you'd like to ask to join Art Joy of Sharing and share along with us. The link is down there. Just make sure that you answer the questions when you do that. So that's it for me. Thanks. Bye-bye.